Spritz.
Oh, Roberta saves the day.
Seem very sensitive. Do we need to wear lapels?
Yes.
I'll just take your mic.
Welcome, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. All right, my friends. I will try that again. Oh, that's so much better. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're so glad you could be here with us this evening as we celebrate Shabbat together. So we're going to start with the words on page 10 when we sing Ma Yafeh Hayom. How beautiful is this day. Shabbat Shalom.
Ma Yafeh Yafeh Hayom Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Yafeh Hayom Shabbat Shalom. Hine ma tov umanai Shevet achim gam yachad Shevet achim gam yachad Ma yafeh hayom Ma yafeh yafeh hayom Shabbat Shalom Ma yafeh yafeh hayom Shabbat Shalom Hine ma tov umanai Shevet achim gam yachad Shevet achim gam yachad Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom. We repeat that. Shabbat Shalom. This part is different. Shabbat Shalom. We'll come back to that again. Ma yafeh. Ma yafeh yafeh hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh yafeh hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Hine ma tov umanai Shevet achim gam yachad Shevet achim gam yachad Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shabbat Shalom Yalai Yalalai Lalai Lai Lai Yalai Lalai Lai Yalalai Lalai Lai Lai Yai Lai 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 Yai Lai Lai.
So I know looking around the room tonight, there are quite a lot of us here who either started school this week or your children or your grandchildren started this week, which probably means you are seriously in the need for Shabbat. So we're going to take a moment and just try to realize you made it. The first week is behind you. You're that much closer to the end of the year. Just kidding. It's going to be fabulous. But, sometimes you just need to get past that first week. So we'll take a moment just to have this time and be able to say that we have made it to this day where we can finally rest and just take a pause. And so light the Shabbat candles. And if you wish, you can even draw in that Shabbat spirit, taking just a few moments to separate the week that ended from this time of rest. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat. And knowing we need a little sweetness after a long week, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Oh, that is so sweet. Sweet juice.
Tell me so.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. So there are different ways that we find to be able to welcome Shabbat into our midst. And one of them was started by the mystics and Sfats all the way back in the 17th century. And they wrote this beautiful prayer that you can find on page 20. It says, Lecha Dodi, let us welcome the Sabbath bride into our midst, making this time just a little more special and holy.
Lecha Dodi Likat Kala B'nei Shabbat Kabila Lecha Dodi Likat Kala B'nei Shabbat Kabila Shambo V'Zachor B'Dikur Echad Ishmiyanu El HaMiluchad Adonai Echad Shemo Echad Leshem Utiferet V'Nitiha Lecha Dodi Likat Kala B'nei Shabbat Kabila Lecha Dodi Likat Kala
page 28, and I'll ask you to please rise as we call each other to worship with the words of the Baruch Hu. Please rise.
Continue on page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai,
Ma'ariv Aravim. We join in words of Shema on page 34. Be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha V'shinatam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, uv'shartam la'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha, uv'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha, Uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kadoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot.
That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness.
That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Singing the Chamocha on page 40.
Lai, 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 lai. Last time. Ooh, that was exciting.
As well it should be. Michamocha is an exciting
big song.
prayer. That's the
Big
one
prayer.
where we're supposed to be able to say that finally we made it to freedom. But we always follow Michamocha with a prayer that's maybe slightly less exciting, but just as meaningful. Because we follow that prayer for freedom, asking God, Hashkivenu, God spread a shelter of love and peace over us wherever we may go. So in 42, we ask God to do that, saying, let there be love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let's do that again. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Shalom. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Shalom. V'hamidenu, Shomreinu l'chaim, Ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom, Leshalom, Leshalom.
So since this is, for many people, the first week of school, it also means it's bar mitzvah season.
What?
I know. So we have a few of our B'nai Mitzvah students who have offered to help us out a little bit this evening with tefillah on page 46. So if you are one of those students who knows that you want to help us tonight, or whose parents have told them that they're going to help us tonight, then please come on up to the bima. And we'll ask you to please rise on page 46.
תפתח ופיה כי תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot L'imachot, U'mevii Geula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atara Be'Ushia, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol Be'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Nofim Ve'Rofei Cholim, U'Matzir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato L'Shenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Kevirot, U'Mitdomelach, Melech Memit U'Mechayeh, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, Ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh ha'akol.
Please be seated.
So this has been a week also of a lot of excitement in our country, maybe a little bit less than we anticipated actually, which is a good thing, but still this is a time when we are certainly praying for peace in our nation, in Israel, and all over the world. So on page 60, I'll invite you to turn and we'll offer a prayer for peace with the words of Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. One more time. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
So this really was an exciting week, and for a lot of reasons. And one of them is because this week we have a new person who entered the Jewish faith. And so we're going to call Haley on up here. So earlier in the week, Haley joined Rabbi Michael and Rabbi Karen and myself at the mikveh, where we were able to do this sacred act of bringing someone into the Jewish people. And I have to share that the Intro to Judaism class started again this week, and there's 45 people in the class. It's an enormous class, and we were so excited to be able to say to them, this class is often the first step in figuring out if this is the right path for you. And how many times did you take the class? Three times. So we told them not everyone has to take the class 3 times, but you do get some bonus points if you do. So Rabbi Michael is going to give you the Torah to hold. Sorry. And we're going to ask you these questions that we already asked you, so this is really more for your sake than for hers. But we'll ask again. Haley, do you choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people Israel and to become a Jew of your own free will?
Do you commit yourself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge?
Do you promise to continue to establish a Jewish home and participate actively in the life of the synagogue and the Jewish community?
Yes.
You should be blessed with children. Do you promise to raise them as Jews?
Do you commit to building a meaningful relationship with the state of Israel and its people?
Yes.
Do you accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religious faiths and practices?
Yes.
Do you pledge your loyalty to Judaism and to the Jewish people under all circumstances?
Yes.
Haley, you stand before the commanding presence of the Torah with its in your arms, the Jewish people's most cherished treasure. It has led us on the way and guided us ever since we received it. It has been carried when we fled from destruction and during the times of your greatest rejoicing. It is now in your arms. It is upon your heart, and together we're all going to recite with her the Shema, the words on the lips of the Jew until the final moments of life. It's the affirmation that has sustained the Jewish people since our beginnings. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. So Haley, you have chosen the Hebrew name Healy, which sounds very much like your name, which makes it a lot easier to remember. But we reminded you that Healy really means she is mine. And we pray that you always feel that you are a part of our community, that you are ours as much as we are yours. And we pray that God strengthens you in the solemn commitment you've made. And with the consent of all these witnesses, we welcome you into our people. And if we can all join in, Ol Shehechianu, Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Mazel tov.
So We know even when we are here celebrating our time of joy that there are many of us who are here or who are watching from home who are here because they feel that there is someone that needs to be prayed for, that there is someone in your lives who is ill in mind or body or spirit and who could use a mishaberach. So if there's someone that you're thinking of and who would appreciate knowing that their names were shared here, I would invite you to offer it at this time. Thinking too tonight of Arlene Alper and Peter Cohen, of Harold Garber and Marcia Gillerman, thinking of Drew and Lucy Weinstein and Ellen Weiss. For them and us, we sing our Mishaberach. 253.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Neimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Amen.
Yehiyu Liratzon Im Reifi Ve'yon Libi Lefanecha Adonai Suri Ve'koali Adonai Suri Ve'koali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Yehiyu Liratzon Im Reifi Ve'yon Libi Lefanecha Adonai Suri Ve'koali Adonai Tzuri Vegoali.
We have to go on walks early in the morning now, being that the temperature today was 107. Weren't expecting
I'm going to mute that.
thunder. I mean, the whole irony about what I'm about to say is about to unfold, so we'll see. Thank you. Check's in the mail. It's not, it's off? Okay, that's ironic too. Or not? Or not? Okay, I'm going to project. We went for a walk this morning. I'm not going to put my glasses on because that's what happened. We went for a walk this morning, Rabbi Amy and I, and we're hashing it out. We've got a lot to talk about. The high holidays are coming up, and our minds are back and forth. This idea is great. That's terrible. Are you kidding me? We can't say that. They'll kill us. Maybe they won't kill us, but they'll be very upset. All right, let's not say that. Very deep in thought. And walking as we go, and there is a woman sitting by the side of the road, and she's holding her dog and she's crying. And on the phone, she's talking to someone, and she's saying, my dog was just attacked, and she's saying it just loud enough so as we're walking by, we can hear. And we could see her little dog. And it's not looking good. It's looking okay, though. It's looking okay. But it had better days. And we had two choices. Get involved. Don't get involved. She was on the phone already. She was calling people. I'm not a veterinarian. I like to think I could be, but I'm not. We went with the option of getting involved. And so we said, is there anything that we can do? Can we get you? And then we began to list things. Towels, ice, bandages. All of which she said, yes, anything, yes, okay, fine. And we went on our way, and she was actually picked up by somebody in between the time that we got the ice. This was all while you were at school, Molly. And someone took her off to the veterinary hospital. I pray tonight that that dog and its owner are okay. I think they'll be in good hands. There are so many different laws in this week's Torah portion that one could get distracted with. But there are two specific ones that I wasn't prepared to talk about. But because of what happened this morning, and maybe because of what happened as I started speaking, all the excitement, it's important. It's important to talk about this idea that there are some mitzvot, I think, and the Torah will talk about this, I'll explain in a moment, that you can really prepare for. Like some folks really make a good challah. Some folks, they'll prepare an amazing roast for Rosh Hashanah. They'll prepare something, and it'll take hours and hours. Those are, you light the Shabbat candles. You have to go, you have to make sure you take the time, you have to prepare. And then there are some mitzvot that you're just called upon to do, and you cannot be prepared. They're spontaneous. They're serendipitous. And so as you begin the school year and we begin the Jewish year, we have a lot of plans and we have a lot of things that we are planning on and we are prepared for. But of course, it's always important to remember that there are going to be this year some mitzvot that you'll be called upon to do that you will not have prepared for. And I was speaking with Harry today. Is Harry here? This week I was studying Torah with Harry. Harry, are you around? No? Okay. Harry doesn't get the credit then. Harry, I'm going to talk about it anyway. Studied with the Torah with a bunch of different students this week because we're getting ready. And so many of you are here tonight, and I want to acknowledge that you're here. So the Torah teaches us this week that there's one mitzvah that's a very big deal. So let's start with the first one. It says, if along the road you chance upon a bird's nest, or if it's in the tree, or if it's on the ground, and it has fledglings or eggs, and the mother sitting over the fledglings or on the eggs, don't take the mother with the young. Sholeach tishalach et ha'im. Let the mother go, and take only the young, in order that you may fare well and have a long life. There are only 2 mitzvahs that you can do in the Torah that will ensure that you have a long life. One is this mitzvah, and the other one is honor thy father, honor thy mother. But what I want to focus on tonight is this idea. I don't want to get caught up too much in the eggs and in the birds, although I think it's important. I want to get very specific about a word. There's this one word, it's bederach, in the road. Like if you're walking down the road, like I was this morning, if you just are happening along and you find a bird's nest, you have to make sure that when you're going to take the eggs, you can't take the mother and the eggs. You can't take 2 generations all at once. There are some rabbis that argue that this is environmental. We just have to be good people who are really taking care of the environment, patrons of the environment. And there are some people that really reconcile this to something greater, which is really actually important that there are young people here tonight and people who are not so young, but young at heart, which is this really profound idea that you have to have compassion to animals. That even a little bird that you find in the middle of the road is deserving of your compassion. Actually, especially the little fragile things that you find along the road. Those things you are obligated to make sure you are acting with compassion towards. So there's a character in the Torah that is not compassionate at all. He's a bad dude. His name is Amalek. And there's another mitzvah, this Torah portion. And the mitzvah is actually connected by the word bederach. They're both about something that happens along the road. So in this part of the Torah, we're told, and this is a mitzvah really, to do this. Remember what Amalek did to you on the road after you left Egypt, when you were on your way. How undeterred by fear of God he surprised you on the march when you were famished and weary, and cut down all the stragglers, the women and the children, in your rear. Therefore, when your God Adonai grants you safety from all your enemies around you, in the land that your God Adonai is giving you as a hereditary portion, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget. Very, very heavy. Who is Amalek? Why do we have to remember to forget him? Amalek is someone who also understood bederach, the idea of the road. But you see, Amalek represents a band of pirates. Amalek represents the bully. Amalek rode out of the mountains as the Israelites are marching through the desert. And the women and the children and the babies and everyone that's weak, the elderly and the handicapped, they're at the back. And Amalek goes straight for the weak ones, straight for those who have no protection. So we have to remember Amalek and what happened and the kinds of things that I don't want to talk about on a Friday night that Amalek did. The rabbis want you to take these two ideas of what happens when you find a bird's nest and remembering and forgetting what Amalek did all together, wants you to tie it all together. It uses this one phrase, b'derech. In your life, there's plenty of things that you're going to plan for. And you will encounter things that you are not prepared for. How will you behave? Will you descend out of the mountains like a brigand, like a pirate, to the kid in the back of the class who nobody talks to? Will you throw out an even more nasty remark? Will you treat people with compassion? First, the Torah says, how will you treat little birds? And we know in psychology, little children that hurt animals is not a good thing. It's something to be very wary of, something to watch out for. Because a person who is young and doesn't understand to have compassion will grow into an Amalek. Most of us work or have worked with an Amalek. Amalek exists in our law practices. Amalek exists in our offices. Amalek exists in our businesses. Amalek is the person who takes full advantage, who takes opportunity of the fragile and of the weak. When we are going on our way, when we are walking down the road, we always have two choices. Get involved or don't get involved. But what's more important is also how we do it. Do we act with compassion? Do we act as patrons of the environment, stewards of our business, stewards of our firm and our practice, our congregation, our community? Do we just take opportunity to take advantage? Or are we defined moment by moment by the surprises that we encounter, the loud and scary things that we hear? How will we react? The Torah doesn't say it's a good deed. It doesn't say it's important. It says it's a commandment. A commandment. May all of you be blessed with the opportunity to find someone on the road and to, in some way, change their lives for the better by acting with kindness, with compassion, and by looking after them. And we say together, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Will to please rise on page 282, and we'll turn to the words of the Aleinu.
Adon hakol, latif gidula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kikuye ha'aratzot, velo zamanu kamishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vigor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
287.
V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo
So, while many of us are here together to celebrate Shabbat and a joyous time, we know too that there are those of us who are here who are watching from home because they are honoring a loss in their lives. And so we recall with love the names of those taken from us in recent days, and our hearts go out to their families in sympathy as we recall their names. Judge Arthur Litz, Jeremy Newton, Janice Rumfeld. And we now recall the names of those, the anniversary of whose death occurs on this Shabbat and whose names have been inscribed in the archives of our congregation or on the wall of honor for perpetual memorial. Celeste Eileen Ach, Cindy Bear Sr., Charlotte Ruth Barkin, Mary Fennell Barron, Molly Barron, Dr. Robert Cohen, Fanny Cook, Rosa Hahn Deutsch, Yetta Epstein, Max H. Faders, Mary Ann Kranzberg Friedman, Edna Rosenberg Friedman, Mame Friedman, Marie London Fry, Jeanette Gillis, Wally Ross Glazer, Molly Glassman, Rose Goldberg, Bess Brown Goldsman, Robert Charles Garan, Faye Kaiserman Greenberg, Joseph David Gross, Charles Irwin Hartman, Dora Prince Horowitz, Ray Abrams Horowitz, John Isaacs Jr., David Kantrovitz, Esther Cohn, Arthur Kurlander, Margot Mannheimer, Milton Mendel, Willard N. Orenstein, Eugene Perline, Tilly Franzel Portman, Roy J. Post, Meyer Rosentreader, Lillian Wise Siegel, Estelle Seidel, Dr. Hyman Centuria, Mildred Shakowitz, John Smith, Jeannie Stiffelman, Bertie Strauss, Edith Tarl, Carl Weil, Stefan Weil, and Sarah Ruth Wolfson. So with these names and the names we keep in our hearts, we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294.
Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bama Devrach, Yoteh, Yamlich Machuteh, V'chayachon Uvyom Lechon, V'chayet Dikol Beit Yisrael, V'agalah V'zman Karev, V'rut Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah, Mevarach, Alam, Lamei, Alamai. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yipa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei D'Kudashah, Baruchu. Le'elan min kol birchata v'shkita, Tushbechata v'nechmata, D'amiran v'elam v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlam Barabba min Shmaya, V'chayim Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. U'aseh shalom v'imrumav, U'ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved.
Oseh shalom bimromav, U'ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, Amen.
So a few brief announcements before we turn to our closing song. First, the High Holy Days are coming up. All of the information is here. So if you want to find out, are we really going to say that thing that's going to make everyone mad on the Bima? You have to come and find out if we really will. So we hope you'll join us for that. Also, this year, because of when the holidays fall, religious school is starting after the holidays. Therefore, we have a back-to-school slichot event that we hope that our young people will come to. Everyone is invited, but especially all of you who are like, oh, I can't wait for religious school to start. This is your moment.
For that kid.
And there will be an ice cream truck. And there's going to be
everyone.
like so much ice cream, so you should come, if only for the ice cream truck. So, for a closing song, perfect, a great New Year's song, we're going to sing "Sweet as Honey." I knew it.
Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Baruch atah, Baruch atah, Adonai, Eloheinu melech, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asor b'divrei Torah, la'asor b'divrei Torah. Sweet as honey, sweet, let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Sweet words of Torah, let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Sweet words, Baruch atah, Baruch atah, Adonai, Eloheinu, Eloheinu, melech haolam, Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asor b'divrei Torah, la'asor b'divrei Torah. Sweet as honey, let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Sweet words of Torah, let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Two more times, let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Sweet words of Torah, let us soak it up, let us all sink in. Sweet as honey on our tongue.